Alright guys, Red Eyes here, and I'd like to welcome you back to Hermitcraft at long last. Yes, I know it's been a stupidly long time since the last episode, but I've been really busy with work over the summer, and it's just left me tired out. Dealing with people is not my thing, and it just leaves me exhausted. And yeah, I've also been having some computer problems, some sound issues, as I'm sure you will notice in this episode. Lots of clicking and popping and annoying stuff I've been trying to sort out. I have not been able to, so yeah, that's pretty annoying. And in this episode, there's a few things. We're going to quickly skim over the base. You know, I'll be working on it in more detail in the future, so there's no point going into too much detail right now. And we'll also be looking at some of the farms I've built. Just a, what's it called? Sugarcane, wheat, cactus, and a flower farm. And that is pretty much it for this episode. As usual, shortcuts in the description if you just want to skip ahead to what you're interested in. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all for supporting me and asking where the episodes are over the summer. Kept me motivated, you know. It's been quite a break. It's been quite hard to get back into it. But here we are. So, without any further ado, first thing we are going to look at is the base. So, this base has been giving me lots of problems. I thought it was a good idea at first, you know, to build a sort of stadium thing and have these different levels going up. But really, I've never actually built a big building like this and then tried to build the base around it. And it's quite hard to plan everything out. And I think one of the main problems with this is the scale of it. Because everything in Minecraft is quite big, you know. It takes a lot of room to build. When you want to have details, you actually need to build everything quite big. And then there's another problem that when you build big, some things are harder to put in as well, like doors and that kind of thing. But it's starting here. You can see I've got these pillars. And I know there's lots of wood here and stone brick, and that will probably all get changed for better blocks once I find a nice combination. But yeah, I mean, originally I was planning to do a sort of curved, or each level would be curved, but that was giving me problems with lining things up. Like you can see, the way I've got it here is a pillar, it goes up, and then it sort of goes through the floor up to the next level. Oh, sheep feet. And then it holds the sort of roof up on the balcony above. But with the curved shape, nothing was really lining up. So what I did was I turned the sort of corners into diagonals, and that makes lining everything up a lot easier. And yeah, so one part of this base I really do like is the ceiling on this level here. So you've got this glowstone and the indented half slabs. I think that looks pretty good. I'm not too sure about the floor, what I'm going to have here, sandstone or carpet or whatever. Really not sure about the materials. I'm still trying to figure all that out. And one issue that was driving me mad was this edge along here on the second, or on the balcony up here, or the roof of the balcony. And again, to do the scale, you can see here it sort of looks all right. The size of the balcony sort of fits with what is below it. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of 4 blocks here. And then the balcony is one thick with the fence on top of it. Because if we go up to the next level, and yeah, it's all ghetto in here still. There's all these sort of bits I've been trying and haven't ripped out and that kind of thing. But if you go up here, it doesn't really work. So I've got these stairs going down to the fence, and that way you don't just walk off the edge. But if I replace this fence with a solid block like that, then I'll show you the scale. Just sort of looks all wrong. Like there you can see the thickness of it, having the stairs and then a solid block above. Suddenly it looks really thick. Although I probably should have put more blocks down to show you. But anyways, I wasn't happy with that. And I don't know, I've sort of grown used to it now, which seems to be what's happening with lots of the aspects of this base. Another thing is I wanted to originally have this be like 4 or 5 levels, so bottom level, first, second level, third, fourth, fifth. But I realized that I would probably only use the bottom 2 levels, because going up and down the stairs, or the maybe 3 levels, because going up and down all the time is more of a hassle than sort of running around. And another issue with having lots of levels was the stairs, and the stairs were giving me lots of problems. And you can see here some old remnants of early prototypes, I guess. There's this sort of curved stair going up here, and the problem with stairs is they're just really big. They take up a lot of room. You know, they're quite deep and wide. I'd rather have the stairs 3 wide, and that would take up even more room. Another option was to just have a sort of diagonal staircase going all the way up. Because remember, each level you go up, you also go back. So it's sort of like a bowl shape, sort of curved. So the stairs have to go back as well. And you end up going quite far back. So, yeah, stairs are definitely an issue. It's not really an issue in this first main entrance here, because I have a bit more room to play around with. So if we go in the main entrance, come in here, and then I think I'll have a big room with either chests or something else in here. And because of this big space, I have a bit of room to slot the stairs in here. I go up to the second level. And I need to leave room for a passageway to go down on each side to get to various rooms, which will be on the sides here. And yeah, so eventually what I realized was, or actually for the stairs, I'll just show you an example of one of the problems. Just hop up here, ender pearl up. That was the worst ender pearl ever, just fell straight back down. Yeah, so the stairs, you know, because each level is going back, if I had the stairs starting in line with these pillars, then I'd end up with a gap here, right? So the stairs would be coming up here, and you can imagine that gap being even bigger. So that wouldn't work. I'd be walking along here, and then suddenly I'd fall down this hole in the stairs. And as well, if I had the stairs starting from the edge here, they'd come down something like this, and then they get in the way of the passage below here. So eventually I realized I could do something a little bit more interesting, only slightly, and that is to put in these little double piston extenders. So you hit the button, double piston extender will send you up there. It's a little bit buggy, but it works. Just like that, and then just walk down when I want to. And that will keep zombies and the stuff out from the second level. And yeah, so that's what I did. And the main thing is, you know, they're not too wide. There is a bunch of redstone back behind there. I'll put a link to the design for the double piston extender I used. Or maybe, I don't know, I'll probably have to build another one at some point, and then I'll show you how I did it. But you just look up double piston extender, and whatever fits for what you're working on, you know, you just use that design. But yeah, I mean, that was an issue over there, having the stairs, but the stairs were much more of an issue on this side, because I've already started to put in farms and stuff in here, and the farms have redstone behind them. So this redstone here was getting in the way. You know, if I had the stairs starting here, I'd have to send them back a bit and then curve them around so they don't cut into the floor above. And this redstone was in the way. So that's really what forced me to start putting in these double piston extenders. Oh, and of course it's raining. So I'm just going to sleep to get rid of that. And actually, before I sleep, I can show you my absolute ghetto my bedroom, and it is a total chest mess. Oh my god, it's just disgraceful. Let's see, random junk in there, mostly sort of materials, more random junk in here, music, some diamonds. Yeah, totally random. Oh god. So a chest room is like high priority right now. Anyway, so I'm gonna have a sleep. So one good chest actually is this one. You can see I've got lots of clay, and I'm going to be using that for building, probably replacing some of the stone brick, because you know there's too much stone brick here. There's too much wood, too much stone brick. Something's got to change. But yeah, I think we'll have a quick look at the farms. So this chicken farm is still here. And I really need to put in an egg separator down here because, yeah, lots of eggs. Eggs, 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 eggs. Far too many eggs, so I got to start getting rid of them, or at least putting them somewhere else. But yeah, we'll just have a quick look at the farms I've put in here. Oh yeah, actually another problem with this style of base is these entrances, because you know, I want to have them quite big. What ends up happening is you see the piston heads. I can't, like, avoid having them. If I put stairs down along this row here, it just sort of looks wrong, having a little bump. So that's an annoying thing, is just seeing these piston heads here. And on the entrance to this farming wing here. I don't really like seeing these pistons there. Although I guess I could make these bottom blocks solid, and that would sort of cover everything up. But we'll head in here and see what I got. Okay, so on this side here, I have a sugarcane farm, and this is the same as the one I set up last episode as the pumpkin farm. And so it has a minecart, or actually we'll just go back there. It has a minecart here, hopper minecart, and once a day, let's see if I can get through here. Yeah, there's a sunlight detector over here, and once a day it will trigger the minecart and trigger the pistons up there, which will, well, first of all harvest the sugarcane, and then the minecart will go back and forth and harvest everything, or pick everything up. So pretty straightforward, well, just like in my last episode. And one problem with this, and I'll see if I can show you a clip of it, is somehow stupid endermen are able to take those dirt blocks. And I've caught them doing it twice. And it's really annoying because what happens is behind there, there's water. You can hear the water then. And so he takes out the block, it spills water everywhere, and then it destroys all these minecart rails down here. Oh, it's just super annoying. So I guess I could probably move the water further back, I think. Oh no, because sugarcane has to be right next to water, doesn't it? But yeah, that's super annoying. I don't know how they can do it, but they don't take the fence or the you know, the iron bars or the stairs. Somehow they just take the dirt back there. Cheeky buggers. So on the other side here, I have a wheat farm, and yeah, so I think we'll harvest this now. I need to put down some more rails under here, because you'll see that when I harvest it, some of the stuff actually hops onto these iron bars here. But again, it has a minecart collection system, and actually, I'll just show you the redstone. If we come back here, the way it works is there's this timer which stays on for a certain amount of time, and so during that time the minecart will be going back and forth, and then once the timer turns off, the powered rail it's sitting on will no longer have power, and it will just end up sitting there. And back here there is some little kind of circuit. Oh, it's a good thing I came back here, because this should be off. There's a little kind of circuit to give a pulse both when the timer turns on and when it turns off. So let's see. I don't really know how it works. It shouldn't really work, I don't think, because it's all synchronized. Like, this torch turns off, gives power, or turns that redstone off, which turns off this repeater. So that's 1 tick, 2 ticks, and then the power goes off. But then at the same time, this block turns on, and then 1 tick, 2 ticks later, power is sent through this block. So at the same time, this top half is turning off, the bottom half is turning on, and vice versa. But it seems to work. It gives a little pulse each time into these dispensers with water buckets. And yeah, so that's pretty much how that works. But I'll show you it again after we harvest it. So anyways, hit the button and nothing happens. You can hear the rail going back and forth. Oh man, I'm sure this was working the other day. Why didn't it work this time? Oh, maybe I had that in the right position and I changed it to the wrong one. So we'll try again. Come around here, hit the button. There we go, and then the water comes out. And then you can see it staying on. You can hear the minecart going back and forth underneath. You can see lots of the items disappearing. Not quite all of them, for some reason, but most of them. And then the water turns off at the end. Now, what I like about this is the replanting. So I'll just grab a stack of seeds. And let's sort of just go left and right. And these rails are here to keep me from going onto the dirt there. And I can reach everything. I decided not to use a minecart to go back and forth for the planting because in SMP it's quite glitchy and you end up missing lots of the blocks. But that's it. That's the replanting. And I'll just go back here and show you this timing circuit in action. So what this is it's a loop of comparators. And I saw this on Reddit. I can't remember who made it, but it's very clever. And what happens is they sort of pulse around, and each time it loops around, there's a little bit less energy in the redstone, and eventually it dies out. So it's a nice little compact way of doing a timing circuit. And from what I saw it on, it was a crushing circuit. So I think using 8 of these comparators in a loop is the perfect amount of time to bring mobs down to 1 hit. So creeper, skeletons, zombies. And that's originally what this was designed for. But not by me. So hit the button and you'll see this power stays on. And if you look at this redstone, it's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And then eventually it will just completely turn itself off. Like that. So very nice and compact. A lot better than using a whole bunch of repeaters because comparators don't output light as well. So there's no light updates. And like I said, there's this weird synchronized circuit, which shouldn't really work, but it does anyways. And I think I'll just dig a few blocks back, just so you can get a slightly better look at this circuit here. So, comparator going into there, and this is it. So, yeah, power going into there. And if you just have a look, that is the circuit. So the output is down there, and the input is down there. And it seems to give a pulse when both receiving and when the power turns off at the input. Click. That's the dispenser. Even though you don't see the redstone actually turning off. And I'm just adding this little bit in because I didn't show it during editing. And when it turns off, click. So even though the redstone isn't actually turning off visibly, it is turning off the water. Okay, so that is how that farm works. And like I said, I probably need to put more rails down or extend the timing circuit because it doesn't quite harvest everything. So moving a bit further down here, we have 2 more farms. On the right side here, I have a fully automatic cactus farm. It's pretty small. There's only 6 cacti in here. And so what happens is when they grow, they hit the ceiling, so you need a 1 block gap, or else they won't grow. Like if I put a half slab under this roof here, the cactus just wouldn't grow at all. I guess the sides might affect it too. I'm not sure. But anyways, this seems to work. And what happens is eventually they grow and the cactus just pops off, goes down into that hole. And one thing I would like to do is cover the hole here somehow. Even though you can't really see it. Well, I guess you can't see it, so it doesn't really matter. But I don't like just having a hole like that for some reason. But yeah, cactus will grow. And then they come down this little line of hoppers here, which I really didn't want to do. I just hate using lots of hoppers. It just seems really expensive for some reason. But they come along here and into this, what is it? Elevator. So there's, is there a dropper there? I guess I need to get rid of this block to see. A dropper there. So when they get in the dropper, oh man, this is a weird circuit as well. Strange circuits. I just kind of mess around with everything until it works normally. But this is the circuit I'm using. And this is to just elevate it from one dropper to the next dropper into the hopper there, which puts it into the chest. And yeah, so it forms a clock, I guess. Yeah, the comparator. When something goes in there, comparator turns on, goes into the repeater, which sends a pulse round back into the comparator, making it clock, turns it into a clock that way, and at the same time it sends power back into the two hoppers, or droppers, or yeah, droppers, and then that sends the items up. So I guess I'll just put a few items in here. And we can watch that running. Oh, it gets really laggy when I do it. And there you can see everything pulsing away. And you don't even see the items go into the dropper. And it doesn't appear to make any sound either, which is quite nice. But we check that dropper and check that one. There's nothing in there. And in the chest, I have my dirt. So that is how that works. And this could probably be done better, but I was just sort of trying to fit it in line with everything that was already around here. And not use up too much room, but whatever. It doesn't really matter if you use an extra redstone dust here or there. So yeah, that's the cactus farm. And the last thing I built, most recently, is this thing here, which is a automatic flower and seed farm. And that's because I wanted to grow flowers, red and yellow flowers. And this one is a little bit more complicated. So let's see, I might have to pull some of it out to show you how it works. But we'll come down here and yeah. So let's see, how does this work? How does it work? Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull away the ceiling, just because we're not gonna be able to see otherwise. So first thing when working with water, of course, build a little barrier, because I don't want to flood water everywhere accidentally. And if I pull this away, we can get a better look at what's happening. Okay, so I've cleared out a bit of space so we can see what's going on a bit more clearly. But essentially I have a hopper clock here. So that is a hopper on each side facing into each other. And then there's a comparator going into a solid block, going into a bit of redstone, sticky piston, and in the middle there is a block of redstone ore, which goes, block of redstone, which goes back and forth. And so the cobble in this case goes back and forth. And for the output, on each side I have a torch. So a torch here and a torch over there. And we'll just watch that torch turn on. There we go. And so each time this goes back and forth, this line of redstone is triggered. You can see each time. There we go. And so that means when I have a torch on this block here, it will trigger the whole row of dispensers in them that have water buckets. So all along the back, dispensers with water buckets. And that's because I wanted the full 8 blocks of flow on each level. And yeah, I don't know, I don't mind using all that iron for some reason. For all the buckets. For some reason I do mind using lots of hoppers, but I don't mind using lots of buckets. Don't know what it is. That's the basis of it, or that's the timing system. So I'm just adding in a little bit during editing, and I forgot to mention how the dispenser with the bone meal in it is triggered, and that happens when the redstone block that's part of the hopper clock is pushed over to the side beside the dispenser. That's when it's triggered. So yeah, just forgot to mention that and thought it was worth adding in. Okay. And so the way it works is I have in the middle here a dispenser aiming up, and that normally is aiming up to a piece of grass. So when this is grass and I have bone meal in here, what it will do is every now and again, or every second, you know, well, I'll just show you. Don't know why it's so hard to explain things sometimes. But yeah, when there's stuff in the dispenser, it powers this comparator here, which powers that redstone, turns off this torch, and allows the hopper clock to run. So it's just so that when there's no more bone meal left in here, then the thing will shut off automatically, basically. So I'll just show you that, speed things along a bit. So it's got one more left in there, and when that goes out, after this cycle pops out, then you can see the torch turns on, and it should do one more. And that will shut the water off after. So yeah, it's pretty simple basically. I have the hopper clock dispenser next to it with this override thing here, just to check when the dispenser is empty, and that will automatically shut off the hopper clock. So let's see, I just want to get rid of the redstone above this dispenser here. Take this water bucket out so that when I put this torch back on, it doesn't... No, it did trigger the ones beside it. That's okay, just shot out water buckets, so no loss really. I'll put these back like that. I'll put all the grass back, and then we will I'll show you it in action. Okay, so I think that will do. I actually went and used Silk Touch to get some grass, but that's enough for this demonstration. So I'll get some bone meal, and currently I have to reload this manually, but I'm going to, figure out some way, maybe just some hoppers going into this thing here. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. Might have to change things up a little bit. But yeah, we'll put in some bone meal and we'll watch it in action. So there, as you can see, yeah, there's a few timing issues with this still. Like, it doesn't push everything all the way forward. But yeah, I haven't figured out the perfect timing yet, because if the water is running too long, then the grass will start to die, and yeah, that's the only issue really. You don't want the grass to start dying if it's underwater too much. And yeah, maybe I can work out some system so when it ends, when it empties, it gives out one extra pulse or keeps it on for a bit longer. But I'm not really too worried, If I put in like a stack of bone meal, I'll lose one bone meal's worth of flowers and seeds and stuff. Alright, so that's enough talking about these farms, I think. One thing I forgot to mention was the design aspect. And I've got this sort of checkerboard wooden roof here. And yeah, these farms are 16 wide here, or 16 like available slots to grow stuff in. So it's 2 wide in the middle here, but apart from that, it's more or less checkered. I just saw this little bit here, sort of shocked me. And but then on this side, this one here is 9 wide, and this one here, I don't know how wide it is, but you can see it's an odd number because I've got this single lamp in the middle. So here it's more of a straight checkerboard in the middle. I guess again I've got these 2 wide bits, so it's a little different in each section. I just wasn't really paying attention to the roof when I was building it. And then on the floor I've just got this red and brown carpet. I don't know, it sort of works. It might be too red, but yeah, that's what I've got. I don't want to use half slabs here because I want to have the chests fully visible. And another thing I forgot to mention about the chests are, I don't know, I want to be able to have hoppers under them so I can maybe in the future have a minecart collection system which will come under the chest and take everything away. And so I've left space to be able to do that in each one, and that is one of the reasons why everything sort of sticks out the back in each of these designs. But yeah, you know, if I didn't explain enough about the minecart collection system, just watch the last episode. It sort of explains how they collect. Like, they don't collect what's directly above them for some reason. They sort of collect off and to the side. But yeah, that's all explained in the last episode. And one other thing, my recording got messed up when I was removing the box around this farm. Because this farm is built into the side of a mountain, this the flower farm. So if you come out here, you can see it sort of sticks out into the open. And all the other ones are all underground. And so I removed the box that was around it, and now you can sort of see the hills behind it, but you don't really see quite enough. I would like to see a bit more, so I might replace these leaves with glass, and then you'll get a better view. I think that would be pretty cool, because then you're in your farm, you can sort of see outside. And yeah, just need to box everything in. Still need to figure out a way of, you know, getting items into here, getting the bone meal into there. I'll mess around with the timing maybe, try and get that sort of optimum, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think that's all I have time for this episode. I have done more work around the base, but I'm going to save it for next episode. I don't want to be rushing through like I did in this episode. You know, I didn't even show you the redstone for how this works here. And I'm not going to right now. I'm sure you can figure it out. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I like doing doing in Minecraft, is trying to figure everything out for myself. It's part of the fun, and you can always look up designs. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Sorry it's been so long. Sorry for the horrible audio. You know, it's just my sound card is just messed up. Hopefully I'll be able to fix it soon, or get a new one, or something like that. But yeah, alright, thanks for watching. Bye bye.